Okay. Hey everyone, this is James LaBrie from Dream Theater, and you are listening and tuning into Ramsey. See ya.
Vicky from Ramsine, and we're here in Slovenia for MetalDays Festival with James LaBrie of Dream Theater. How are you today?
Doing great. Yeah, just arrived maybe a few short hours ago, but yeah, everything's good.
How are you enjoying Slovenia so far?
I haven't really, aside from looking out of the tour bus and coming in to the hotel, not that much. But I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's unbelievable. The area that we're in is absolutely spectacular. But yeah, it's if I had a bit more time, I'd kind of take in more the culture and more the surroundings. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and have you played in Slovenia before?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, actually, the last time we were here, there was a huge ice storm.
Oh, really?
And, yeah.
Quite
pretty
contrast.
Amazing. Yeah,
to today.
Exactly. So, but yeah, the show was amazing. We had a great time. So we're once again looking forward to it tonight. Yeah.
The scene at the festival currently is most people are on the beach because it's really hot.
Oh my God.
Going swimming.
It's insanely hot today. Yeah.
So by the time Dream Theater play, hopefully it would have cooled down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe
so.
10 degrees.
Yeah.
So what would that make it? 90 degrees?
Yeah, probably.
Or 30 Celsius or something? Yeah.
So we really enjoyed your last self-titled album, and it's kind of been mentioned before, but I wondered what was the original thinking behind like having shorter song tracks this time around?
On the last Dream Theater album?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that actually wasn't, in some respects, each and every time that we go out and we do an album, we just feel that there's something that, necessarily as any artist would want to achieve is to be saying something slightly different, but at the same time maintaining and retaining your identity musically. With the shorter songs, we just thought, it's always something that we've always experimented in throughout our entire career. With each and every release, there's always some songs, that are evidently quite shorter than what we come to be known for, which is, slightly longer songs or epic pieces put together. But with the self-titled album, yeah, there were a few in there, and then as well there are some absolutely very lengthy songs. Illumination Theory, being one of them. So over 20 minutes. So yeah, but it's that's been what's really been the hallmark of Dream Theater is that we like to incorporate, we like to be very diverse, in the way that we compose the music.
Yeah, and you kind of branch out with your side project as well, which I listened to, and there's quite a range of styles in there, from kind of dubstep even to it's great.
Yeah. I mean, well, with the solo stuff, and I refer to it as solo because it's under my name, but for all intents and purposes, it is a band. It's guys that I get together with, the same players, Ray Riendo and Marco Sfoli and Peter Wildur and Matt Guillory, who I've been working with as in a partnership since 1998. It really is a very, very refined group of people that have the same goal and want to, really make something out of what it is that we put together. So it is a band effort. It's a separate entity from Dream Theater, but at the same time, it's that focused. It's not like a side project. It's like, let's just share something together, have some fun, guys, and then move on. We're very serious, and I think you can see the progression, even from back when you have the Mall Muzzler albums, and then we progressed into, James LaBrie being, from Elements of Persuasion and up to its current incarnation. But it's also, we're actually releasing a box set of the last 3 albums that we put out in, I think it's a couple months. Yeah. So it's going to come out. And we always have in mind that we're going to do another album, and I'm hoping that I can coordinate it with the other guys, both Dream Theater and the guys in the solo band, that when Dream Theater winds down with our next world tour, that the new solo album would be coming out, and we could follow that with a tour. which would be great.
Well,
It'd be
that's
awesome.
great news to hear that there's
I
stuff
have to do it.
vaguely
I
in
have to
the
do it at least
pipeline.
one more time. I haven't
Yeah.
toured with the solo band since 2005.
Yeah.
It's been like 10 years. My God, what
Yeah.
the hell? So I definitely have to get out there and do it again, especially with all the new material that we've done and with the players that we have currently. It begs to be played out live.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. I think and UK fans would really be excited about seeing a James LaBrie
Oh, yeah.
show as well.
Yeah, I'd love to do
So
that.
you're currently on the 30th anniversary tour.
Yeah.
How's that been? Because it's obviously quite lengthy and a lot of travel.
It's actually not as lengthy as our normal tours. I mean, we're playing, an hour and a half. Just because you're on a festival tour,
Yeah.
that's kind of the maximum that you can be playing. But it's going over great. I mean, we're playing songs from each and every album, which
Great.
basically allows us to do one song from each album.
Yeah.
But it's going over fantastic. I mean, and it's really great to see. I mean, we were just talking about this the other day. Is that there's so many new faces out there in the sense that we're seeing such a young demographic
Yeah.
that is present within our audience, and at the same time, we're also seeing that dedication and that lengthy relationship that we've had with so many fans for so many years. They're out there as well, and I think it's really interesting to see when we're doing this 30th anniversary, going back to the older albums, the reaction in the younger people's faces, because it's kind of like, oh wow, this is them too. It's kind of cool. I haven't really looked into it, but it's
Yeah.
kind of cool. So it's really going over really well, and we're having a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, when we go back out to support the next album, which won't be until 2016, because
Okay.
it'll be released early, let's say February 2016. It'll be released, and then we'll follow that up with an extensive tour around the world. Those will be very long shows, like we usually do, 3-hour shows, right?
Yeah, that's true. We saw you in February in the UK.
Yeah,
It was a long
right.
show, but it was great.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a little bit of a picnic for us, but we're having a great time.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
And you mentioned about like younger people, younger
Yeah.
generation being at the shows and noticing bands like Dream Theater. I think with heavy metal and metal in general, a lot of fans take recommendations quite seriously from other bands and
sure.
from other fans.
Right.
And it lives on that way. Which,
it does.
Which I think is great.
Word of mouth is still an extremely powerful vehicle for promoting any band out there, and obviously the internet is an invaluable asset as well as far as promotion for each and other thing that's going on by the minute. All the social media and stuff like that. But so it's interesting how it's still very. You have to be. I think it's ironic because you have technology which should do more for you, and you should have to do less. But we live in a world now where we're being having to be more hands-on and more interactive with our fans, and I'm in agreement to that to a certain extent. I still feel that there should be a little mystique, in what it is that brings that artist to the point where you're seeing them in the physical. I think some of that has been lost. Some of that magic has been lost over the years because everybody is so accessible and everybody is so immediate, and it's unfortunate. I mean, I can understand the value of it, and I can understand the human element of it, and I think that's amazing. But at the same time, let's not forget about the fact that it's also entertainment. It's supposed to bring you into another world.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. Let's not lose that.
Yeah, I agree. And Dream Theater have got such a large fan base, really. So I think it'd be interesting to ask you. Through talking to quite a few bands, they've mentioned that people just don't buy music these days. But I just can't see it affecting.
Yeah, we've
Dream
been
Theater.
very, very fortunate in that because our fans do, and it's almost like a collector's item.
Yeah.
They do go out and they do still buy the albums, whether it's CD format, whether it's getting it from the various sites legally through digital downloading, or whether they want to wait for when we do, our box set releases and the big, jewel cased LPs or just the LP release. We're very fortunate in that sense because that's the kind of relationship that we've always had with our fan base, and so they continue to want to buy into it. But by any stretch of the imagination, it's not what it used to be. You know, we still are affected by the current events as to people being able to download music for free, which I am totally not in agreement with.
Yeah.
I am absolutely not, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's a, you know, it's licensed material, and it's stuff that we put a lot of time into, and it's no different than somebody walking into a grocery store and feeling that they don't have to buy the groceries that they need, you know. But what about all the people that went into doing and making that available to the point where you can access it? You know, it's just, you know, we all work for what we feel is just naturally to be paid for.
Yeah, exactly. And we were looking at sales figures from people that buy music, and found that more people buy old music than buy newer music that's coming out. Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. That's dumbfounding. I mean, that's wow. I guess.
Yesterday,
I have no idea.
talking to Lips from Anvil and talking to a lot of veteran musicians, I'll say, and
Canadians.
the response always seems to be that they think that maybe a lot of new metal specifically is always so influenced by previous stuff.
True, that is
people
true.
just go to the original.
Yeah, I guess that could be some of the allure, you know, and maybe also just, you know, when you a lot more. Not that artwork today and album covers today aren't phenomenal, because they are, but you know, back then you had such a bigger platform to work with and engage with, and that in itself might be something that's attractive or appealing to a younger audience today, going, geez, you know, like, you know, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that and seeing the artwork that was involved in that, if they can get the LPs and that, you know, because CDs is still kind of get it, but not as much, you know.
Yeah.
But that is interesting. Yeah.
I feel like in prog, maybe not so much. I mean, you can't. Maybe you take some influence from prog bands, but it's all, it's much more creative, I think.
Yeah. Well, and prog music, you know, in general, tends to be, you know, very exaggerated visual. You know, like the visuals that are used, and we try to be much more profound as to what it is that we're trying to communicate visually and with imagery and all that. So it's kind of exciting because you have some artists that are phenomenal at what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are Dream Theatre's plans for the rest of this year, working on a new album?
Well, we finish up this tour August 3rd, we go home. 3 days later, I'm in the studio recording vocals for the new album.
Excellent.
And then the other guys will be finishing off all their other little pieces and layering and tracks and stuff like that. Yeah, so that will be what I'm doing.
Yep.
And then come September, I do the R.N. Lucassen thing, the theater equation in Rotterdam. There's 4 shows being played, and it's to bring to stage the Human Equation album that I did with him in 2004.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty much all the shows are sold out. I think there's like 100 tickets left for the one matinee on the Sunday. And it's amazing, all the production and, you know, the process is quite detailed and entailing a lot of rehearsal. So it's going to be an amazing production. So I'm doing that in September, the 18th, 19th, and 20th in Rotterdam. And then the other guys, I'm not sure exactly. I think Jordan's doing some orchestral thing. But you know, basically, and then we're going to be promoting the album that will be coming out, and then we'll be supporting that. So there will be probably, you know, from October to January, we'll be starting to focus on the new album, and at the same time we'll be a little quiet and kind of chilling out and getting geared up and ready to hit the stage again for another year or so after that.
Well, it sounds like you're quite busy.
Yeah, it's good to be busy though.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us.
Okay, thank you.
We really look forward to seeing more from Dream Theatre next year.
Cool.
Thanks.